this is a great day. Saturday Night Live, in its wisdom, said no to racism. And it just shows you simply that, look, racism is not popular. Racism racism is a mental illness, first of all. As I've said, I don't know how many times now. It's not, you can't treat people the way you want to treat them just because you think it's okay and you think it's funny and it makes you feel good. It's disgusting, okay? It is absolutely wrong. What Shane did was wrong. He talked about pushing the boundaries and everything. He never once said, hey, you know what? I'm wrong for hurting people's feelings. He says, well, if it offended you, let me know. Well, you know it offended people. Shane Gillis was fired by Saturday Night Live and by Lorne Michaels. Thank God. This is a day to celebrate being an American citizen, a day to celebrate people who really get that. Look, first of all, we're not on this earth by ourselves, okay? We just aren't. And it's like this. Everybody has a name. You want to be called by your name. You don't want someone making fun of your name or showing disrespect to your name, okay? You want to be called as you want to be called. You want to be thought of, pure and simple, as how you want to be thought of, and you don't want somebody calling you names and characterizing you as someone you're not in ways that are not helpful to you. That goes without saying for everybody, okay? It's just that's the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. That's what we call the golden rule. Again, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. You would not have anybody treating you in a way that you don't want to be treated. You wouldn't allow it. So why do it to someone else? I mean, that's just common sense. And yet, some of the people who responded to my videos on this in the past are lobbying. We've been lobbying for this idea that, well, it's not racist. It's not this. Of course it is. Or, hey, someone black said this, so therefore it's okay. It's not. Oh, I can go on and on and on about let me get to the news, all right? First of all, this is the headline. This is the announcement. Saturday Night Live has fired new cast member Shane Gillis in response to recent racist and homophobic comments he made on a podcast. And it goes on when I'm looking for looking for the news announcement from Lorne Michaels, because Lorne Michaels did put out a statement which had appeared at the top of this. So I'll just do this a different way, and I'll just type SNL for Saturday Night Live and go from there. And Saturday Night Live it had first announced their news about him being out, about him being part of the cast a few weeks ago. It says, welcome to the cast. And they had to pull that back because he basically, look, what he did, when I'm not, now there it is, Lorne Michaels. I'm looking for Lorne Michaels' statement. And that is what I'm looking for. Trying to find Mr. Michaels' statement here as opposed to Shane's that he had posted. And okay, here we go. Saturday Night Live cuts ties with Shane Gillis following some resurfaced statements, but Lorne put out, I thought, a fantastic note. Okay, here it is. All right, it's right here. After talking with Shane Gillis, we have decided that he will not be joining SNL. We want SNL to have a variety of voices and points of view within the show. And we hired Shane on the strength of his talent as a comedian and his impressive audition for SNL. We were not aware of his prior remarks that have surfaced over the past few days. The language he used is offensive, hurtful, and unacceptable. We are sorry that we did not see these clips earlier and that our vetting process was not up to our standard. Period. Racism is a mental illness. If you're hurting someone's feelings, or you're saying something that you know is going to hurt the feelings of a large group of people, guess what? Don't say it. If someone says to you, hey, don't use that language, don't fight to use it anyway. Just don't do it. Make your life easy. Let this be a cautionary tale to anyone who believes that they should be allowed to advance a point of view that excludes someone else. Because if you do in today's society, people will say they don't want to work with you. And that's all SNL did. It simply said, look, we don't want to work with someone who has these ideas. Now, if Shane really wanted the job and he took Saturday Night Live as seriously as the American representative of culture that it is, a representative of American culture that it is, he would have said, hey, you know what? I have some posts out there, okay, that say something that people should not, would find offensive, and I need to take them down. Instead, he didn't even think that way. He left them up. Racism is a mental illness. It has been identified as such by the Oxford Dictionary, and it is called a pathological bias. It doesn't matter that someone in your family or my family has it or expresses it, but extreme racism can cost you a job. Take note. This isn't the first time this sort of thing has happened. It's happened to waiters and waitresses on a small scale who didn't want to serve someone black, who threw plates at them. I nearly got a TSA worker fired for how she treated me by shoving the box of contents that I had, which were my belongings, toward me, simply because I asked her if she could speed up just a little bit because I was late to catch a flight. And I did so in a very respectful way. I just said, ma'am, with all due respect, you're kind of going through this, one by one, and I'm happy to open this up and help you, but I need to catch this flight. And so she did it the way I asked, and then she shoved the contents at me. And that was on camera. So I notified her supervisor, and her supervisor took over. On top of that, you would say, how do I know it's racism? Very simple. I stood in line, I was observing how, because I do this, and she was in my chain of direction where I had to go, observing how she was treating other people until she got to me. And I had to have my content scanned. So there was an obvious difference, and I was able to point it out on camera. People don't like racism. And if you do something on the basis of, hey, this person's different from me or whatever you do, it is a mental illness because you're willing to risk your livelihood because of a bias you have in your head. You have that problem, get help. Now, the best remedy is to make sure you have a diverse base of friends. People who are going to call you out on your thoughts. People who are willing to argue with you and say to you, hey, you know what? You're not supposed to treat people that way. But you're not going to get better if you surround yourself with people who are like you in complexion and thought, and then release yourself in the society and think, I'm okay. You're not. Because this is an extremely diverse society. And as I wrote way back in 1994, when I was talking about how the city of Oakland was going to look in the future, I said that the most successful mayor of Oakland would be a polyglot, someone who was bilingual, and able to put together different bases of people. I was slightly wrong on that because my god sister, Oakland Mary Libby Schaff, is not necessarily polyglot, but she was able to strike the right chord, and she was truly, not was, is truly a person who cares about Oakland. And on top of all of that, she has a diverse group of friends. People who are willing to tell her sometimes, hey, you know what? You're wrong. But I digress. This is a day to celebrate. The racists have lost. The people who want diversity have won. Okay? So that's the way it is. And not only that, for me, I go back to when I remember 6 years old, and our neighbor was a family that I now realize is Polish, I believe, but it didn't matter to me because they were telling jokes about my friend Henry next door. We were about equal height at the time. I'm black, he's blonde, and I defended him. Now note, I was 6 years old. 6. Okay? If I can be 6 years old and come to the defense of my neighbor who's white, and the year is 1968, what the hell is wrong with you that you can't do that and it's 2019? I'm just asking. What the hell is wrong with you? Again, I was 6 years old. Some of you out there are what, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 31, 41? You got no excuse. None. I was 6 years old. Polish jokes, never told them. Someone tried to tell one to me and I was 6 years old. I said, that's not funny. Again, how old was I? 6. You getting the picture? 6. Okay? You want me to repeat it? I was 6 years old. So get with the program. Stop feeling like you need to offend people because you don't. It's a great day. Shane Gillis is fired, and I'm back to watching Saturday Night Live. I wasn't going to watch. I told my mom, I'm not watching it. She goes, oh my God, no. Okay? Changed. Changeover. So no way. All right. Back to the normal fun stuff of covering the NFL and everything else and tech. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you.